Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watch of Realms. Welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out Sythra. We're gonna do a few things of testing to find the right gear sets, and talk a little bit about the affiliated factions, and do some damage testing, and just discuss some of the things that she's going to be really good at. Anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Alright, so you can see I have one Sythra here at A5 and I have one at A0. So the awakenings are strong. They're not ridiculously strong, but they are strong as they should be. When you awaken a hero, you should be well rewarded by awakening that hero. Let's quick go over the factions. We have the Starpiercer faction. So paired with Yovar or Araka is going to be a good option, of course, because they're going to get an extra big boost of damage, 45 to 50% based on the range. For Yovar is just going to be a 45 boost after a certain amount of time. But we're also going to be able to take advantage of Gon. So if you really want to like increase her damage to the most, I'm thinking that Gon is going to be a pretty good option. Valdron is a good option as well, especially if you're running like APOC 2 or any kind of boss and you're bringing Gon with. It's going to work out really well. And if you're bringing Gon or Valdron into Arena, because this is going to be a very arena based hero, as well as GVG, so it could be interesting how this turns out. This hero specializes in single target physical attack, defense penetration, and summons as well. As far as the stats go, I'm gonna have to go back to the gallery here for 1 second just to see it as from the stats. I want to read the skills off with you guys on the normal hero page, because then you can see what they are maxed out. Let's see here. All right, as for hero details here, max level. Yeah, so the attack range is just like your typical Silas type range. You got a 4x3 grid that she's gonna be able to attack in. Basic attributes is 12.7k HP, 4376 attack. Defense is 1k, magic res is 1000, same thing. Cost is 15, so it's not really too bad. Block is 1, that doesn't really matter. Everything else seems pretty much the same. The attack interval is 2 seconds at base. All right, on to the skills. The talent. When a unit retreats, dies, or the hero summons perish in range, her attack increases by 15% for 10 seconds. Every single time a summon like disappears, or a unit like a Laurel or something along those lines is pulled off the field, or just the unit hero dies or something, is going to get an increase in attack by 15%, which is going to make it really good for your GVG. So if your tank goes down in her range, she's going to get a quick boost of increase in attack, should help her do a bunch of damage. Her next basic attack after that deals 200% damage and inflicts defense reduction as well. So she's going to blast them hard. If triggered when the hero's HP is below 60%, the duration is extended by 5 seconds, and the attack increase is raised to 20%. So if you pair this with a Carnelian where her HP stays low from getting hit, or if the enemy actually hits her, she's going to be able to do all this extra as well. Duration extended by 5 seconds, and the attack increase is raised to 20% instead of 15%. Alright, onto the basic. Physical attack. Deals 120% damage to one enemy, prioritizing airborne units. Shadow Fury. Continuously dealing damage to the same target reduces attack interval by 5% up to 6 stacks. So a 30% increase in attack if she's targeting the same hero or same enemy. The effect disappears after she stops dealing damage for 6 seconds. Then converts to restoring an additional 2% rage per second. So she's getting rage back if there's nobody in range. And if there is a constant enemy in range, she's just going to keep increasing her attack interval. So like Guild Boss, APOC 2, she's just going to be really fast. All right, on to the Fang of the Serpent. The hero has 15% defense penetration. This is just standard. For every one ally within 2 tiles, including herself, whose HP is below 70%, she gains an additional 5% defense penetration up to 3 stacks. It's going to work really well with the Chaos faction. If you have a Chaos team that you're going in there with, it's going to be extremely useful. And then she also does have an arena passive of arena damage increases damage in the arena by 15%. Very strong for the arena. Very strong for the arena. Alright, Fatal Kiss is the ultimate. It is a manual. Cost is 700. Initial rage is 500. Lasts for 1.5 seconds. It's just a straight burst. Summons Tormented Soul in attack range. When summoned, deals 100% AoE damage one time to up to 8 enemy targets around Tormented Soul. When the hero's current HP is greater than 30%, consumes 40% of current HP. If she is on a Chaos faction team, she's going to do more damage for having her health lower, and she's going to automatically kind of decrease her HP. So if you pair her with like a Durza, Valderon, Gon, whatever, they're automatically going to reduce her HP, even if she's not really getting hit. And that's going to come out to be extremely, extremely useful in a lot of cases, like even Guild Boss, APOC 2, APOC 1, all those things is going to work out really well. The Tormented Soul rapidly shoots at one enemy within its owner's attack range. Initially can shoot 15 times and dealing 240% damage each time. The Tormented Soul perishes after all shots are used. Prioritizes airborne targets. The arrow gets a return count each time it has a fallen target. Up to 3 can exist on the field. So if she's really fast, these souls can kind of pop out and just keep cycling her 20% attack, keep cycling everything, and they're going to be also be doing damage. And she's going to have the chance to summon more of them the faster that she is. And they do AoE damage when that happens. For that reason, we will test her in Guild Boss or Gear Raid 1 as well, just to see how that all works out against AoE targets. Not really a big damage test to see if she's going to go into Gear Raid 1 24 or something crazy like that, but how is her AoE damage in general? That's a good place to test it. As for the artifacts, as of right now, I do not believe that there is any exclusive artifacts for her. Let me check here. Going to be the ranged heroes, and usually they just put it right on the end. There is a new one, and you can see there's nothing new here as far as artifacts right now for any of these heroes. So make sure we check here. Yeah, there's nothing new popping up at all. So we're pretty good there. So you're just going to be using the standard artifacts. For Blightcaller's Claw is going to be a really good option. I wouldn't use a Sharpshooter's Ecor's Chalice to help keep her alive if she's struggling. And then if you're always on the same target, a Spirit Siphon will definitely do. But ever since Blightcaller's Claw has been released, I've always been using Blightcallers. I find it to be a little bit better than Spirit Siphon in most scenarios. Alright, as for the gear, for my usual testing, I always go over to here. I have an IR test with just big attack. That means straightforward focus on attack using Infernal Roar. And then seeing how her damage holds up against the Soulbond Arcana set below it. As you can see, they're both relatively close to the same thing. As close as I could get it, or could be bothered to get it. If it's a major difference and this is all you have difference for stats, then obviously one is better than the other, right? All right, so let's go right into Guild Boss here. We'll do a time lapse and take her into normal because we're just trying to test her damage. I think we'll put her, we'll put her under the Star Piercer faction. See how she does there at A0. Yovar does not need to be on the field. That's a good reason why we do this. And let's go and see how her skills work, her kit works, and then we'll do a test. Then we'll do a time lapse and just kind of go through all of the different abilities here. All right, so let's just place her down on the field and see what she does, shall we? All right. Everything seems normal now. She's hitting at 102k. Let's activate her ultimate. This should take out a Tormented Soul. There's a Tormented Soul, and that soul is doing a ton of damage really fast. Yeah, that was actually pretty interesting when her ultimate went off. Infernal Roar doesn't seem like it's struggling too much, but she did hurt herself, so I'm not sure if she can sit here and be solo as far as doing this. Oh, well, maybe she can. I don't know. I have to put like a Carnelian or something below it. That seems to be pretty much it, actually. She just uses her ult. Tormented Soul comes out, does a ton of damage. When the Tormented Soul goes away, she has that increase in attack, which isn't going to show here, I don't think. We'll check on this next run around. Alright, so back to the ultimate again. Let's see if she gets any kind of buff here. After the Tormented Soul disappears. No, it doesn't show that increased attack. It's there. So you can see that the damage is up to 148k. And it should fall off pretty soon. 174. she's just doing a consistent 174. She does ignore defense too, so we're talking like mini Silas kind of thing. It's not 100% defense ignore, but we're down to 148 now. So that attack boost is just falling off, and she's just coming back to her ult again, so she can keep it up very consistently. Especially if you have something helping her increase her attack a little bit more, increase her rage a little bit more. She should definitely be able to keep that 20% attack up almost all the time. So here we go. The soul is there, he's gone. And we're back up to, or we should be back up to, there you go, 174. Oh, 290 on that one, that's crazy. Yeah, 174k hits almost consistently. So let's go ahead and restart this. We will just place her down on the field under Yovar. I know that using Valderon or something along those lines would be a good option, but let's go ahead and do this, and we will put the ultimates on auto and just let it ride, and I'll see you after the time lapse. Kind of cutting the time lapse short. We went to 33 seconds, and she ended up dying. She does reduce her health a little bit. We may have to do a rerun with this with Eloin on her, and it looks like we already hit 100 million roughly without even making it that last 33 seconds, and she's at A0, so 100 million damage on the single target boss is actually pretty respectable. So yeah, pretty good there. I want to say I'm going to run it with Eloin as well, and we're going to start the base testing from there instead of doing it without a healer. Eloin's going to add some rage regen, and that's something I wanted to see too, is if she has rage regen, how fast, you know, with coming back to the ultimate, she must come back to it a lot faster. And yeah, let's just try that. Alright, so let's get this started with Eloin on the field. Yeah, I think Eloin's going to work. I think she actually has, I want to make sure she doesn't have an invigoration set on. She does, and I don't want that buff to happen there. So attack speed, rage rate, and healing effect. Just throw something on. It doesn't even matter. All right. So let's go into the play test. We're going to start the initial testing now for sure. The last one was nice to see, and we realized that without a healer, she's gonna end up destroying herself, especially if it's in the later part of the boss fight or like stronger stages, like Nightmare 4, Nightmare 3, etc. Let's go ahead and place her down on the field, place her back here, and we are going to place Eloin within range to keep her alive. That's going to kind of mitigate exactly how much damage she's going to be doing, because Eloin's going to be healing it up, and she's going to be doing more damage based on how low her HP is, so that could hurt her at the same time. It's kind of hard to balance out, to be honest with you. It's kind of rough here, honestly. But anyways, we're going to put this into a time lapse. Maybe Carnelian would be a better option, but this way she's actually coming back to her ultimate really fast. But I'll see you after the time lapse. Right there, we are on the end of the first run, and we ended up with 10.774 blood, and we ended up with 107 million damage. If you didn't notice during the time lapse at 33 seconds where she was before, even though her health wasn't low, she still managed to keep that attack boost up. And I think that has to do with the summons kind of falling off and coming back a lot quicker, and it keeps that increased attack to 20%. And I think we ended up with all the same damage. So even though her health HP isn't low, she's still doing the same thing because she's just bringing out those summons. So I think that mechanic might be a little wonky or just kind of unnecessary. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But I do believe if like Cyrus is in there and his summon kind of dies off or something along those lines in GVG, for example, she's gonna get that boost even if she can't reach an enemy, use her ultimate. But if you didn't notice, that ultimate does a ton of damage. Those summons that she has, those tormented souls, they come out and they do they just crack. It's just crazy how much damage they're actually doing. All right, so let's check out Soulbound Arcana. We're at 107, what was 107.11. I'll go ahead and put that into our page here. The first test was Infernal Roar, 107.011, was it? One more check quick. 118, I'm sorry. 107, 118. 118. Let's go ahead and check out our Soulbound Arcana test. Do that really quick. Alrighty. I will try to actually give her the boost if I can as well, which should be easy. We'll get to her as fast as possible, to be honest with you. I'm not going to go too crazy with it. Alright, so let's switch over to her gear. And I put that same set that I was talking about on earlier. So it's going to be right here. Soulbound Arcana test with a big attack. It's the same kind of thing. 56 and 8% low on crit damage, but a little faster. So I mean, we'll see what happens. Her, yeah, it looks like her BP dropped a little bit, but she has the same artifact on. Let's get back into it and see if we can't try to get that Soulbound Arcana stacks really quickly and then get it going. Not gonna be too quickly, because too quickly is not really that realistic, right? Alright, so let's place her down. We're also gonna place down the Eloin just like before. We'll put Diao Chen over here. Diao Chen can instant switch. And then we could put down, let's say Percy without touching her. That'll work. Percy will add another stack. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it. We'll just cycle Percy, Eloin, and Diao Chen to make sure we get those stacks as soon as possible. Put on auto. There we go. That's pretty quick. I think we get Percy off here. Diao Chen just switched again. Should have full stacks pretty quickly here. Those guys always work really well. We'll take them off the field. Get Diao Chen off the field. And then put it on 2x and see where we end up. And I'll be right back after this time lapse. Alright, we are back at the end of the fight here, and you can see the damage is already significantly higher, so Soulbound Arcana is definitely going to be your best bet. Cataclysm and stuff like that is going to be kind of equal out the same, especially if she gets like some kind of exclusive gear piece or Star Booster faction. You can get a little bit more penetration as well on the higher bosses. Cataclysm kind of always works. Hell's Lament actually might work pretty well as well, so we'll see. We ended up at 111.281. So let's stick that in here. 111.281. You can see Soulbound Arcana is clearly the better winner here. I'll just go ahead and duplicate this. And for the next run, we're just going to do like the same test using the last score with Soulbound Arcana. I'll have 111.281. And we're going to go ahead and change it over to test with, instead of Eloin, we're going to use Carnelian. Gone. gonna put her on the Chaos faction and see just how well she does on there. Okay, so I'm gonna just remove the third row. We're just gonna do this run one time. And plus Carnelian. This will keep her alive, and it'll allow her health to drop down low. And we are gonna lose the LON Rage Gen buff, but we're gonna gain all the damage from the Chaos faction, and also with her HP being low. So she's gonna have that increase there. So that's one more test that I want to do, and then we're gonna go over to see her AoE capabilities as far as like Gear Aid 1 goes, and just kind of see how she interacts with multiple enemies coming in. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so here we are. Here's the team. We're gonna use Gon. With his Lord ability compared to Yovar's, he has the ability to increase their damage up to 60% at 30% HP. So when she drags her stuff down that low, you're not gonna have to worry about it. She's just gonna get that 60% damage boost, and it kind of increases based on how much HP is lost. So him just being there, I don't even think he has to even be on the field. Yeah, he doesn't even have to be on the field. He just needs to be there as the Lord. So that's actually a plus for us. Don't have to worry about having him geared or anything. But if I do put him down, he's just sitting in a tank set that I auto-equipped. And then we have Carnelian. Carnelian can do some heals. You're going to have Soul Essence as well. This is going to keep her alive all the time. Make sure that she always has a Soul Essence. And there will be these weird healing waves that she can do when their HP drops below 30%. So it's kind of difficult to keep her HP that low. But what matters is when she does her ult, and she should consistently kind of lower it that bit. But if you're gonna run a Chaos faction team, you're gonna run Carnelian, so that's gonna be more realistic of a check, right? Also, I want to mention that because we're doing the low-level guild boss, the defense penetration and ignoring defense kind of thing isn't gonna be so pronounced. Like you're not gonna see it as significant of a change from those abilities, but that will make a difference in content where their defense is really high, magic res is really high or whatever, and that's going to help you out as well. So I'm actually kind of impressed with the numbers so far, and I want to see what you can do now, but we need to make sure that we get some ultimates off just like before, get that Soulbond kind of rolling just as soon as possible. So let's see here how we're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and place down Sythra in the same spot. I will place Carnelian over the top of her. We are going to put Diao Chen up here, and I'm not going to place down Eloin because that's going to cause some issues. We will place down Gon facing downwards here. Hopefully he doesn't attack the boss. Let's start getting these ultimates going. There we go. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, and she did 1 as well. So I can take off Gon now. I can take off Diao Chen, and we can go into the time lapse just like we did before, and let's see what happens. I'll be right back. Alright, so here we are on the end here. 111.2, let's see here. 111,869. So let's check up our page here and open that up. 111,689. I will say that 869. 111,869. I will say that I did not get to this as fast as I would have liked to. 111,869. What I mean is I didn't hit auto early on in the fight. But that kind of shows that under Gon as a Lord and Carnelian kind of keeping her alive, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. If it's a really, really long fight, Yovar might be able to take over and be better at it because that first whatever seconds, a minute or so isn't going to count as much as like Guild Boss 1 or, you know, Nightmare 1, 2, 3, 4. But that being said, it's a pretty close fight. We have 111 281 with Elowen, and then we have 111 869. Could have been a little bit higher. Thought it alted a little bit earlier. Maybe we should have popped off one more alt and increased it by another 4k. It's not crazy. Now what I'm going to do is just basically fill out this page at the Awaken level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 under Gone, because that was our highest, and I will be right back and with those results, and I'll update everything for you. Be right back. Alrighty guys, so I've completed all of the testing that I think I'm going to do as far as putting on our spreadsheets here, and I just wanted to show you this one little last thing. I did decide to do like a maximum damage test, just running Volca for vulnerabilities. We're running Torador for decreased defense. We have Carnelian in there just to keep her alive. I even ran Elowen, but outside of her range, so her health goes low. We ran Durza for the inspiration and the increase in damage, all that good stuff. And then we Laurel cycled as well as running Diao Chen for inspiration. So I just wanted to show you guys this. I mean, it could go a little higher actually. I mean, I could really optimize all these guys' gear, and I think Diao Chen might not even be geared quite right, but it's good enough. But we did end up at a 265.2 million damage against a single target boss, and I think that's pretty respectable. Honestly, I think that's really respectable. Obviously, we're focusing raw damage on her, and honestly, because the defenses on the normal guild boss is so low, a lot of the defense penetration and stuff like that isn't really benefiting too much. It's not taking that much off of her attack. And I would say, depending on what boss you're going against, if you ran a little more crit damage, it might even benefit her more. But anyways, yeah, 265.2 million damage. I'm gonna bring over our spreadsheet here, kind of show you the results for the Awaken 5 and all that good stuff here. See if I can zoom in a little bit. There we go. So here we are with the gear test versus normal guild boss with Elowen. We ran 111.2 at Sylvan Arcana. That is going to be the winner versus 107.1 with Infernal Roar. Then we have the gear test versus normal guild boss Infernal Roar plus Carnelian plus Gone. And it ended up being right at 111.869. This was versus this 111.2 versus with Yovar. So whatever lore you decide to go to is probably going to be equal out pretty much. You don't have to worry about it too much, but I think that the Chaos faction definitely does a little bit better. Awakening test versus normal guild boss in Infernal Roar plus Carnelian plus Gone. And here are the results. I put a star by the A3 because that would seem to be like the ideal place you want to be. I think that's going to be a very significant boost that's reasonable as far as awakenings go. The A5 definitely has a big boost, but you really want to compare the A1 versus the A3 versus the A5. And as you can see, it's just about the same kind of jump each time. We're going from 119 to like the 130 range, the 130 range to like a little over 140 range. So you're getting like a, I don't know, like 5% increase, 10% increase each time you get to one of those thresholds. The A4 is penetration, so that's going to be more significant in higher defense bosses. And the A2 is the plus 300 attack onto the base attributes, and that's why you see like a nice 4k jump there. It's really, or I should say 4 million jump there. It's really nice. And then I did the max damage test with 265.2 million damage at A5 with pure raw focus of trying to get her damage as high as possible versus normal guild boss. All right, so with that being said, I did say I want to check her out in some AoE content, so we're going to Gear Raid 1 pretty quickly. This video is getting really long and I'm running short on time, so I'm going to have to go in there. We're just going to go into 19 with power dominance off and just see how that AoE damage holds up. If it's going to hold up good or if it's going to hold up bad, you know. We're going to leave the A5 on. As I said, you get like a 30%, 20 to 30% increase in damage. So the A0 is actually really strong. The A1 is pretty much something you'd want to try to shoot for sure. But the A3 is going to be where you want to shoot. Anyways, we're just going to put her down with Elowen and keep this simple. All right, so let's get into it really quickly here. I will not use any other heroes on the field with her. Sorry, what I meant was Gear Raid 1 stage 18. That's what I was looking for. I don't want to see if she can clear Gear Raid 1. I don't think she's a Gear Raid 1 type hero. I just want to test that AoE damage and see it happen. yeah, 18 is not that big of a challenge. So this is not going to really show you just how powerful her AoE is, but I just want to see how it interacts with the game, okay? All right, so Eloin's here. We'll just put this on auto. I have no support except for Eloin. I mean, so the AoE damage wise, I'm not really that impressed with that, but the summon is still there, so that's interesting. Every time it killed a unit, the summon increased its time. So if you watch that, if you watch those tormented souls and how much damage they do on normal guild boss, they were doing 500 k hits is what they were doing. It's ridiculous. So if you can actually keep one out or keep a couple out and a lot of AoE stuff coming in, yeah, there could be a significant. You might want to talk about that. You know what I mean? Like, it's something to talk about. That one's still out because it killed so many enemies. Now there's 2 of them out there. Holy crap! Maybe I'm a little impressed. This is interesting. So they're doing 200k hits, and now there's 2 of them on the max range out there. And obviously they can't be hit. And they just killed so many enemies that their time range is still increased. And they're gonna go again. She's gonna put another soul out there, and they are just destroying stuff. Whoa. Actually, I'm a little more impressed. Look at that. She is absolutely destroying everything. That is what? I mean, how was I supposed to know that that was gonna just get amped up? There's another soul. Now there's just like machine guns. Holy cow. They can't even get, as soon as they get in there, they're just gone. Interesting, guys. Interesting. That could come in handy. Could you imagine that kind of damage in like even like anti-air, where she takes out, the souls take out a lot, and the next round comes around, you have a couple more tormented souls on the field, and it just keeps going and going and going until you amp up towards the end, and you're just eliminating everything on the screen. I'm actually impressed. I want to try something. I need to try something else quick before I let you go on this video here. I like Sythra. I'm going to tell you right now, I like Sythra, and it seems underwhelming when you first look at this hero. But when you do some digging, and you'll find out that it's not really that underwhelming. It's actually a pretty good hero. And I want to go into artifact material rate. I want to see how it can handle 18, with just soloing the boss, and see if it can solo the boss. That's what we're after here. So let's get a Piercer Lord here. We're gonna go with Yovar, of course. Here we go. Get him off the field. Let's put that A5 Sythra down, and I'll try to tank it and see what happens. We'll see what happens. It is like the only platform unit that's gonna be up there, so we're not gonna be able to heal. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's go ahead here, and we'll place down Broke here. We'll put this on auto. Is the damage super significant? I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's something to talk about, I think, anyways. Let's see. Gotta get another ult off here. Somehow we need another ultimate, and it should be done. There's heroes that do this in one with less awakenings, so I'm not really that crazy about this. But that being said, she does get it done without power dominance on. I don't know. I think my verdict is that this hero is pretty cool. I don't know if it's like overpowered or anything like that. It's just a good balance, but it's actually very cool. I think in anti-air arena, Sythra is gonna break something at some point, I think is what's gonna happen. So we're looking at a chaos faction. In anti-air, you could also look at single target arena. I think consider that when you're running Gon is already in there, so he could be paired with Gon, and you're already running that chaos lord faction, and just the ability to do everything that she's doing is going to be significant. If not meta, maybe at least a really good option to bring along with single target arena. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you check out the website prospector.gg. This page here will be posted under my profile, and I also will link to it in the description below if you want to go and check it out. These heroes will be added within the next couple of days to the website, so you can see it with a test server notice as well. But anyways, I will get that all added, and you can check out this spreadsheet if you want. And also in the comment section, let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see Sythra doing. I have one more thing to show you. I wanted to compare this, so I used it as a test because I needed to clear this for the new boss coming out, Matrix 1. And this is what we ended up with here. So I used it on here instead of Yuri. I used an A5 Sythra, and as you can see, just a little bit behind Valderon. That's an A5 Valderon, just goated gear and everything. We're sitting at 498 million versus APOC 2, and I mean that's a pretty strong indicator that as far as a single target hero, it's going to be useful. It's going to be very useful against bosses. I mean, it's not crazy, but it's useful, especially if you need that platform unit. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to check out prospector.gg. And if you don't mind supporting me, smile1.prospector.gg. I get a 5% kickback. But anyways, I've been the Prospector. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep digging.